Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I will call this regular City Council meeting to order. If you will all rise for a moment of silence and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, which this evening will be led by Councilmember Dodd. Roll call, please.
Mayor Hill.
Here.
Vice Mayor Jones.
Here.
Councilmember Dodd.
Here.
Councilmember McPartley.
Here.
And Councilmember Nunn.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Council, if you will indulge me under agenda modifications, County Commissioner Laura Moss is here this evening. She would like to briefly discuss the workshop that's coming up for the MPO. If you have no problems with that, I would like to put her under item 6E.
No objection.
Okay. So under 6E, Ms. Moss, I'll have you come up. Any other agenda modifications? All right, hearing none, we'll go to proclamations, awards, and brief announcements. We're going to go ahead and skip item 6A and go to item 6B, Sebastian Social Respite Program for Residents, presented by Vicki Drumheller, RN, and Courtney Sanchez, Program Director of the Alzheimer Parkinson's Association of Indian River County. Welcome.
Wow, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Well, good evening. My name's Vicki Drumheller, and I live in the city of Sebastian on Joy Haven Drive. And I'm very happy that we were able to get on the agenda to bring this information to the council. And special thank you to Councilmember Nunn, who read my long email about all the wonderful things that this organization did. Just a little base background before I introduce Courtney, who is the program director for our organization. Alzheimer's Parkinson Association of Indian River County, it's a 501(c) local nonprofit. It serves community members who are affected by memory and motion, and it offers support groups, respite programs. We do Project Lifesaver for this county, and educational classes, as well as a resource for many local organizations. We not only deal with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, but we deal with anyone that has a memory disorder or a movement disorder and are not affiliated with any national organizations. So all of what we do is done within this county. I've been an advocate and worked and volunteered for over 35 years in various capacities with this organization. Presently, I'm on the program committee and I facilitate support groups for caregivers. And I'm delighted that Courtney Sanchez has been able to come here and can talk to you specifically about the Sebastian Social Respite Program, which is at no cost to our residents of the city, and it right now is at the Yacht Club on Indian River Drive, which, by the way, is really cramping our style because of the parking and all the stuff going on there. But we've provided you each with a folder that has multiple programs that we have. We'd love you to take a look at it at your leisure, and certainly you can contact me or the organization if you have any other questions. So I'm going to turn this over to Courtney, and she will provide you specific information about our respite group.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Vicki, and thank you for having me here this evening. So as Vicki mentioned, the Sebastian Social Respite Program is one of the programs that our organization does offer to specifically Sebastian residents, all completely free. It is housed at the Sebastian Yacht Club with a beautiful view that we appreciate very much. We love being there. The program is held every single Thursday weekly from 9 to 3. And what the program is it was designed to give caregivers a break or respite. And what it is it's social for the participants that attend this program. It's mainly designed for those with dementia, different types of memory loss or mild cognitive impairment. What it is the caregiver can drop their loved one off to us there at the Yacht Club, where we do have professional staff in a safe and fun environment where they can engage in activities all day long from 9 to 3. We do activities with them such as pet therapy, light exercise, arts and crafts, brain fitness, other fun activities that we do with them all day long in order to give the caregiver a respite. And then the caregiver can come back, pick them up refreshed after getting that break. They got the socialization that they deserve that helps keep them sharp, as well as keeping them engaged throughout the day. So we have lots of room at the Sebastian Yacht Club for more Sebastian residents. We definitely want to get the word out to them, let them know about this free program that they can please take advantage of. And we're here to help the community, especially the Sebastian community. As Vicki mentioned, you all did get folders. We offer many other programs in this county and in Sebastian, and I would welcome any questions that you guys would have.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And what an amazing service. I mean, the opportunity for someone to have that time is critical, and I think for their mental well-being, it's a wonderful program. So I appreciate that very much. The dates again for that are Thursdays from?
Every Thursday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And that's at the Yacht Club.
Yep.
So they just have to be residents of Sebastian.
Yep, or Indian River County, wherever is closest to them.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Anything from staff?
How do they get signed up for that if they wanted to do that?
So in all of the folders you guys did receive, there is my business card. So I am the director of programs. All they have to do is give our office a call. Our phone number is 772-563-0505. Give us a call and ask for me, Courtney Sanchez, and then I can walk them through the application process.
Well, that's outstanding. Thank you so much for providing those services. Thank you,
I
Courtney.
wanted to say thank you again to both of you for coming. Obviously, I have a deep past and present with Alzheimer's in my own family, so thank you for what you do.
All right. I guess Mr. Gingras is going to talk about the Sebastian Rotary Brewfest next. Mark?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. City Council, thank you for having us tonight. We just want to give a report and finish up where our attention was with this festival. I'd like to introduce our president of our club and also the chair of the Brewfest, the Sebastian Rotary Brewfest, Scott Theo. So I'll let him do his presentation, if they don't mind. And it ended up being a very good success. And for me, I really do appreciate your input and also the city's input as well to the festival.
Go Coast Guard.
Coast Guard,
Auto pirates amongst us, you betcha.
thank you for your service. We won't hold it against you.
See, Fred? See how it's supposed to work? Yeah, again, thank you. Who can we present this to? Somebody can come down here, shake hands, get a photo op, or? So the Brewfest we held was on December 6th, the first Saturday of the December, and we had over 700 participants, and we raised a good amount of money, not as much as we planned. Next year, I promise you, Mr. Mayor, it will be more. But here's a check on behalf of Sebastian Rotary. And if you all want to turn around and get a nice photo here. Should have brought a camera.
The press will get that sent over to you.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. We look forward to it.
Again, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Just to let everybody know, the check that the city received for the park improvements is $1,850.
Thank you. Give it to the money guy.
Should go to city council bonuses. Just kidding. Just kidding. Thank you very much. Brewfest is one of the amazing events we have in the city of Sebastian. You know, we started out many years ago with the clam bake, and then we went to the art festival, and our 4th of July has always been an amazing event. But the Brewfest is one that we really enjoy here in Sebastian. It's a great time of year, and, you know, we just appreciate everything you do for our community. So thank you very much again. All right, Mr. Carlo, we'll have a community development block grant program housing rehabilitation replacement update.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, Ms. Frazier is here I think Guardian is here also to give a brief presentation. So this program had been kind of stale for a while, and Ms. Frazier reinvigorated it, and we've done a great service for some of our residents. Mm-hmm. And what we're going to do is just give you an update on where that money has been spent. It's our entitlement program from the community development block Excuse me.
My name is Antonio Jenkins. I'm the consultant project manager for your CDBG program. It's pretty hard to follow somebody giving money, but I
Right.
will do my best. This update is for the City of Sebastian Community Development Block Grant Program, or CDBG program. I'll use that moniker quite a bit. And it's an update for 2 funding allocation years. It's the 2019 to 2021 funding allocation year, and then this upcoming 2021 and 2022 allocation. See if I can get this right. Got it right. Just a bit of an overview of the program. The city's program follows the HUD national objectives. We kind of localize it here to benefit the elderly, disabled, and veteran LMI households. LMI meaning low to moderate income. Another objective is the elimination of blight via the rehabilitation of homeowner occupied housing units within the city limits of Sebastian. Most of the homes that we will do will be kind of smaller projects. So in this instance, homeowners will be living in the house unless there's a severe health and safety issue that requires us to kind of temporarily relocate them until that health and safety matter is taken care of. Allowable rehabilitation includes, but is not limited to, code, that's the Florida Building Code, and Housing Quality Standard Corrections, or HQS corrections, if you hear me say that here as we go through this particular process. Accessibility additions and corrections, meaning if someone has a disability or something like that, we can add accessibility features to the home. And then hurricane hardening and weatherization repairs. As specifically relating to the 19 through 21 funding activity, we had a funding allocation amount of $101,676,000. We are just about finished expending those funds. We have one project that's outstanding, and we will get into that here in a little bit. To start of this particular, the 19 to 21 activity, the homeowner and contractor orientation workshops were noticed and conducted in August of 2020 with a 60-day application period following the orientations that we have with the homeowners and contractors. We received 4 contractor applications. They were vetted and pre-approved to bid and be a part of the program. The contractor vetting process is ongoing as long as the funding allocation year is open. It's a little bit different than the homeowner application period, which is set at 60 days. There were 7 homeowner applications received and vetted. None were listed as veterans, 2 were listed as elderly, and 1 of those applicants was listed as disabled. All 7 of the applications were vetted. 6 are found to be income and program eligible. As a prerequisite of the program, again, you have to be a citizen residing in the city limits of Sebastian, and you have to meet the HUD income guidelines in order to be determined eligible. Those homes were subsequently inspected for need and bid through the procurement office. 6 projects were awarded and assigned contracts in September 2021. I know that initial period that we said in August of 2020 seemed like a very long time. We had some staff changes in the procurement office, and then we had to get the new program forms and the processes and all those stuff in order before we could get it rolling in full to ensure that we were meeting HUD compliance. So that's why there was that big of a gap. I figured that might be an eye raiser there. Again, 6 of the projects were awarded and assigned contracts in September 2021. 4 of the 6 projects have had construction completed. 1 of the projects is currently under construction. And then we had 1 of those 6, the homeowner withdrew from the program prior to the start of construction. She had some other issues that came up, and she just decided it would be better for her not to participate at this point in time. She did pledge to maybe participate in the future. And then the 1921 program activity is scheduled for funding expenditure, construction rehab activity completion, and funding year closeout by the end of February 2022. So we're fast approaching the closeout of the 19 to 21 cycle. Again, we have 6 projects, 5 of the 6 were rehabbed, 4 of the 6 complete, and we're just outstanding with one particular project. We had a delay with one of our subs, a septic sub, and that's why that project is just a bit lingering out there. I got ahead of myself. I apologize to the audience. I was not clicking forward. These are a few pictures showing some of the projects that we were working on, some of the before and after. This is a Duncan Street project. This was plumbing and accessible shower. There was a leak in the wall. It's hard to tell in the picture, but it was a leak that had been going on for a couple of years, and then when the program was revamped, the homeowners were ecstatic because they had an avenue to get that taken care of. That's the after photo for the Duncan Street project. So you can see the accessibility features there, the built-in seat and the bars. The next project is the Columbia Avenue project. It's a roofing project. As you can see, the roof was reaching its age limit. Insurance companies now, roofs that are a little more than 10 years old are requiring those roofs to be either overhauled or replaced. And this was the case with this particular project. As you can see, there was some damage there, there was some leaking, and then we ended up with a new roof there. I was going to send a whole bunch of pictures of this, but we'd been here all day and everybody would have been mad at me, so I decided we would try to keep it short. The next project is a Midfield Terrace project. This was hurricane hardening. As you can see on the before pictures, the house is in pretty good shape, didn't need much rehab, but it had older windows. And so what we did to help the homeowner with her insurance is we added the hurricane shutters. She's elderly, so we went with accordion shutters where we could on the very large windows in the front there. She was mad at me about it, but we had to go with panels. It was just cost prohibitive to get custom shutters for those big front arched windows. The next project is the Copley Terrace project. Again, it's another roofing project. As you can see there, it's old around the vents and the stacks. You can see where there's some deterioration, and you can't see it in the picture, but there was lifting. And then there's the after, brand new roof, like magic. That is it. The last project, I didn't put pictures in for that. It's a septic project, and it's just a bunch of dirt. I figure nobody wanted to see a bunch of dirt. Moving on, the 2021 and 22 funding activity, I promise you won't take near as long as the 19 through 21. The funding allocation that we have for this new cycle is $106,813. I do estimate that about somewhere between $7,000 and $10,000 will roll over from the previous project, as we just couldn't spend it all with the projects that we had, and there was not enough money to do anything substantial with the open projects. The homeowner and contractor orientation workshops were noticed in October 2021 and then conducted in November of 2021. That opened a 60-day application period, just like the previous cycle. During this particular orientation cycle, we had 1 new contractor to join the fray for a total of 5. And then we had 6 new, some repeating homeowner applications were received, and they're currently being vetted by the application vetting staff at my office. See, somebody had to tell me that I'm doing this wrong. The final homeowner eligibility list is projected for the end of 2022. That means we go through, verify that they live within the city, that they're income eligible, and that they actually have a need. Home inspections for eligible applicants is projected to begin in early March 2022. Project bidding for all eligible applicants is projected for late March to early April 2022. And then the 2021-2022 funding expenditure construction rehab activity, completion, and physical funding year closeout is projected for late July 2022. Not too bad. That's
Great.
open for questions? Or?
That's awesome. That's outstanding use of the grant funding that we're getting. I'm very happy with that report. It's good to see that the actual citizens of Sebastian are being helped one by one, and I love to see that. So anyone have any questions for Mr. Jenkins? All right, thank you very much, sir.
Perfect, thank you.
Appreciate you very much. Ms. Moss? County Commissioner Laura Moss.
Thank you, Mayor Hill and Council, for the opportunity to speak. This is a personal invitation to the community of Sebastian to participate in helping to plan the future of Indian River County. And as you may know, the county has been involved in a series of workshops, which actually started last May. One was held in May, one was held in October. The most recent one will be held next week. And everyone is invited, everyone. That's a community at large. You don't need to sign up. You can sign up on Eventbrite. It will be next Thursday. That's February 3rd from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. And by the way, I'm going to leave some of these in the back of the room, so you don't need to take down everything. You can pick up a paper copy if that's easier. But it's next Thursday, February 3rd, from 10 until noon at the IG Center, also known as the Intergenerational Center. It's that huge red building, which is on Oslo Road. I apologize for the location. It's a little far for Sebastian, but I think you'll find it very worthwhile because it is a workshop and it's going to address future land use, growth of the county, quality of life, you know, some really large issues. And, you know, I've attended the last two, and what we end up having is just very small groups of people and only certain, you know, like Chamber of Commerce or elected officials. Not that we aren't all wonderful, we are, but, and staff. But I would love to have the community involved. I mean, just the way we did earlier tonight, that was wonderful. And again, I thank you for that, for including the community in the decision as to how extra monies, federal monies, will be spent. Well, this is the same thing. I'd like to hear from the community on this. So this is just an invitation, and again, I'll leave it in the back of the room. Eventbrite is involved only so they can get an idea of how many people might be attending. You do not need a ticket to come to this. There is no charge for this. It's your tax dollars at work, planning the future. God bless. Thank you again. Appreciate it so much.
All right, thank you so much for coming up here. We're talking about the future in Indian River County and growth and development in Indian River County. So if you could make it February the 3rd at 10 a.m. to 12 at the IG Center down in South Vero, it's important that you get there because, you know, what happens between Vero Beach and Sebastian greatly affects the city of Sebastian, and what happens south of Vero Beach greatly affects us. This is a very small county, so everything that happens is very important to the city. So if you can get a chance, go down and check that out. On to brief announcements. Saturday, the 29th of January, the Sebastian River Art Club will be at Riverview Park from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Four Chaplains ceremony will be at the Veterans Memorial Park. They're not sure yet what the date and time is going to be on that, but I'm letting you know there will be one. Friday, February 4th, Chamber of Commerce concert in the park will be at Riverview Park. The Dave Scott Band will be there from 5:30 to 8 p.m. The Sebastian Police Citizens Police Academy, the Sebastian Police Department Citizen Academy, will be February 17th through May 5th. There are still openings. You can get in touch with the Sebastian Police Department to get your name on the list and go to the academy. Let's see, I think it takes place on Thursday nights from 6 p.m. to 8:30 from February 17th to May 5th. You have up until this Friday to apply, and there are just a few more spots left for the Citizens Police Academy. So if you get a chance, jump on in there. Any other announcements from council? All right, thank you, council. That leads us up to public input. Is there anyone this evening that would like to bring something before this council that is not currently on the agenda? Yes, sir. And while he's coming up, I'll just let everyone know that our rules do not allow for any cheering because we don't want it to sort of, we want everyone to get up and speak freely and comfortably. So if we could just let people speak, you have 5 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. My name is Robert Masterson. I moved to Sebastian about 4 years ago. I love it. By the way, I bought an existing house. 2 people moved out. 2 people moved in, so I'm not part of the explosive growth that we're experiencing. I just wanted to make a comment or two about Highway 1 and the traffic. I drive it every day like most of us. It seems to me like there's just an increasing number of swells, bumps, potential potholes. And I'm assuming that the city is working with the Florida Department of Transportation about getting this road maintained. Somewhere along the line I realized, or I think I realized, that they don't have anything planned until 2025. That's a long time between now and then, and that road is going to take a lot of abuse, particularly with the increased traffic. And increasing traffic, I'd just like to echo a couple of things that were in this Sebastian Daily article on the 20th of January about traffic problems increasing. I drive the road, unfortunately, 2 or 3 times a day, it seems like, if I'm in town. I see speeding. I see traffic lights being run, people jumping the lights. I see people making bad U-turns. I'm not suggesting that the Sebastian Police Department make more speeding tickets, give more speeding tickets. But I think it would help if we had a greater presence of the Sebastian police vehicles along the highway. I think it would remind people. We could also have some of those flashing speed reminder lights, maybe some signage for U-turns, maybe just a campaign for safer driving. But I live off of, I use Schumann Drive. I think we've had 2 or 3 major accidents there just recently. Bad intersection, that's mentioned in this article. There are other intersections that are really bad. There's a lot that I think we could do to maintain or improve the safety along the highway. And the other thing I'd like to mention while I'm here is that I lived through the debacle of the annexation 2 years ago. I think the city should work aggressively to annex any property that they have an opportunity to do so. I think it's really sad that if you look at the city map, county map, all of the property, or most of the property south of the marina is county property. But yet those projects that are coming up in that area are going to impact that very traffic problem that I'm talking about. And we do not have a direct input in that, at least as far as I can see. So the city needs to be very aggressive and not let this crazy idea about anti-annexation slow us down in making things better. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. I will say that if you move to Sebastian after 1926, then you are part of the problem, I guess. So, and that would be me. So anyone else from the public wish to bring something forward? All you beautiful smiling faces out there. All right, anyone on Zoom?
No one has raised their hand.
Okay, thank you very much for that. We appreciate the input tonight. Thank you. That leads us to the consent agenda, Council. I'm going to ask that we pull item I for discussion. Anything else?
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of items 8A through 8H.
I second that.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Jones?
Yes.
Councilmember Dodd?
Yes.
Councilmember McPartlin?
Yes.
Councilmember Nunn?
Yes.
And Mayor Hill?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8I, approve Wounded Waters, Inc. request for to waive the park and stage rental fees. Chris and Kevin are here. They wanted to discuss this item. If you guys want to come forward.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
My name is Chris Nolan. I live right here in Sebastian on Salem Avenue. Here's Kevin and Chuck. They're with Wounded Waters. And Kevin's the actual founder of Wounded Waters. Now, they are a local organization that help veterans with PTSD. Obviously, everyone knows that, you know, PTSD has become a big issue. So they're helping veterans where they don't need any diagnosis. All they need is the symptoms and step up. And it's through, operations on the water and then through affiliations with the Next Gen Vets and some other groups, the health organization. They're providing the counseling and everything that we need. Now, the problem is small groups like this, they don't have the funding that they need. So we created what's called Operation New Day. I'm a realtor and business owner. What we're doing is we're bridging the gap between the veterans and the people that can help them and the business owners. So what we're doing right now is we're targeting other realtors to join with me to donate part of their commissions to the veterans. So my goal is to have 10 realtors in addition to me by February 10th when we have this event, all right, 100 by the end of the year, which will create $30,000 of revenue going directly to the veterans, no red tape, none of that stuff. Now, we're having our rollout event on February 10th at 5:30 right in the Riverview Park to direct everything. We have the Sebastian PD that stepped up to help us. Their COPE unit will be out there, some of their CERT team, and so on and so forth. What we're requesting is that the City Council, we're asking you to waive the fees for the park for that day, for the use of the park and the stage and all that stuff, so we can host this. We're also asking that all the members get behind us and hopefully join us there on the 10th to bring this out to everybody. This will be we started this program on January 1st. When I wrote this, and I finished this and printed it this morning, we had representatives from 3 different brokerages in the area. We're now up to 5 different brokerages. We're getting a lot of traction coming up on this. We have quite a few realtors and business owners that have stepped up to support us. We'd like to get your support as well. And then you guys have the synopsis there. It tells you a little bit about what we have going on there. Any questions for me as far as how it works?
No, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, fishing's awesome. I mean, obviously, it's a great place to do that. What a heck of a way to get people out on the water. So, I mean, I think it sounds like a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, and we are all veterans. Everybody here, I'm Marine. They're both Army.
Thank you.
So
are we, all 5 of us. So.
Army on the water.
Right.
Awesome.
Army on the water? That's kind of funny, but it's okay.
Here we go.
Mayor Hill?
Yes, sir.
I think this is a great opportunity for us to assist a fledgling organization that's going to provide some services to people who have a hard time getting that PTSD. It's difficult for a lot of people, and not everyone has an opportunity to get through the VA medical system and get a PTSD diagnosis. So I'll make a motion that we waive the fees for this initial meeting. Now, once they start generating $30,000 worth of revenue, then I think maybe we can ask them to pay the $100. But
yeah, and that's quite possible. But we're trying to get out the gate right now.
I'll move that we waive the fees for this initial meeting.
I second that. I need it.
All right, anything else from council members? Does anyone from the public wish to speak on this issue? All right, seeing none. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate everything you're doing. All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Good luck at the event.
On that, sir.
Everyone, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, council, that leads us up to item 9A, the Citizen Budget Review Advisory Board. First question, everyone's got their people and everyone's status quo, we're good to go?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, that's great. Next, we have 2 vacant spots and 1 application from Amber Serta. And I would move to place Amber Serta in one of the additional member spots with a term to expire November of 2022.
Second.
Dave Newhart, move him up from the alternate to the...
Well, he hasn't been
I
showing
was
up.
going to say, so how does that work? Do the alternates vote? Do the additional members vote?
The alternates would vote if one of their regular members doesn't show up.
Correct.
But are these 2 alternates, have they indicated they're willing to stay?
The alternates,
Yeah.
I haven't checked with them, but the
Right.
position that you're filling for right
Okay.
now is the at-large position. So. Amber
Right.
would-
Well, they're current, okay, they don't expire till 24, so they're current, the
Right.
alternate's current.
Yeah.
Right, and I would have no problems moving them up. I don't think they applied to move up.
Right.
No.
Well, I'm saying you got 2 alternates, you still
Yeah.
got 1 opening, so. I
Right.
guess if Mr. Newhart wanted to move up, or
Yeah, I think you should.
Mr. Sullivan, just let you know, right?
Yeah, anyone wants to be on one of those terms, we're still accepting applications, I'll assume, right? Because there is an additional spot available on the Budget Review Advisory Board, and on either one of those alternates, I think would be just fine if they wish to ask. So, all right, so hearing none, no other recommendations, I guess we'll go with Amber. Thank you. All set? All right, thank you. Anything else from committee reports? All right, hearing none at this time, I'm going to recess the City Council meeting and convene as the Community Redevelopment Agency. Item A, approval of minutes. Council?
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the minutes for the October 27th CRA meeting.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Now B, consider Sebastian River Area Chamber of Commerce's public mural program.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, this, as you may recall, the chamber came to the city some time ago and was trying to get consensus on having a mural program within the CRA. That kind of went with staff changes and time and things that have happened. It kind of went by the wayside and kind of got shelved for a while. They've re-engaged the process and met with us and myself and staff and community development, and we've been trying to work out some type of a program for you all to consider tonight.
They're here.
I know. The chamber is here to give a presentation and kind of go over the process that they've put together and for you all to take and consider that. Okay. Ms. Tebow?
Hello, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to present to you today. I'm Cheryl Tebow, the President and CEO of Sebastian River Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm here today to ask for your approval for the public mural program. Joining me today are two committee members, Nicole and Amanda, and I would like them to introduce themselves.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm Director of Operations at Mel Fisher's Treasure Museum. I also serve on the Board of Directors for the Chamber of Commerce, as well as chairing the Tourism Committee.
Good evening, Councilman. My name is Amanda Smalley. I am the manager at Skydive Sebastian, and I serve on TDC as well as the Board of Directors for the Chamber of Commerce, co-chair the Tourism Committee, and then serve on the Mural Committee.
I just would like to tell you our mission. Our mission of the mural program aligns with the mission of the Chamber to showcase the charm of Sebastian River area, rich in history, and modeled to promote tourism, community engagement, and increased business awareness.
So a few of the objectives, I'm not going to go through this whole list, but a few of the very important objectives that we'd like to point out. One of them is to be included on the Visit Florida Mural Trail. Also, that will increase economic development, attract and engage tourists, encourage community cohesiveness, and of course, preserve the small town charm and culture of the Sebastian River area.
And as you can see here are a few examples of murals that align with the categories that we've designated, and we'll cover that in a future slide. The murals would attract and engage tourists as well as enhance the aesthetic, character, and charm of our fishing village, leading to positive exposure for local businesses. And here are some examples of Florida birds, some native flora and fauna focusing on our natural wildlife.
Again, I'm not going to read every word on this page, but I will just point out a few of the most important economic, that we'll have from the economic impact. And that is that Florida's tourism industry is one of the largest in the nation, as I'm sure you already know. And we welcome 145 million visitors, and we spent close to $100 billion. That's with a B. Yeah. Florida's arts and culture industry generate close to $5 billion of this economic activity. 65% of visitors take part in at least one culturally based activity during their trip. Cultural tourists spend 60% more per trip than those who do not take part in cultural activities. And Florida's arts and culture industry deliver close to $500 million in local and state government revenue.
And here are some links to some local communities, that are depicted on the Visit Florida Mural Trail. So you can see some of our neighbors to the north and to the south. So it would be beneficial for us to become a destination location and provide a reason for cultural tourists to stop at Sebastian on their way through the Mural Trail. And then these are some the mural categories that the committee established to preserve our culture and enhance the local charm of Sebastian.
And as you can see, the mural process is thoroughly outlined. The process starts with the business owner completing the application. Then the mural committee reviews and approves the application in artist draft of the mural. The project is then presented to the Community Development Department to review for final approval.
And this is the location of the pilot program. And as you can see, these are a few mesmerizing examples of some murals. Some are in Cocoa Beach, some are in Fort Pierce, and they have a 3D effect, which is absolutely incredible. They attract tourists, and they create marketing opportunities and exposure for the local businesses. Are you hooked yet?
Oh, these guys.
We are. Well, thank you very much. I'm sorry. Well, thank you. We very much appreciate that and welcome in the new position. This has come before us in the past, and I know it's got a lot of people excited about the potential. I do have some questions about it, and it's because Sebastian in the CRA in particular has strict codes that we have been under for the last 20 years, and these murals don't fall within those codes. Now I see that the categories are fishing, and it seems like those would fit well in our fishing village, and I just have. I don't know that I have concerns, but I kind of have concerns. You know what I'm saying? When we've been under the same, your paint has to be this color, your roofs have to be this slope, and and maybe I'm just looking at it from a vanilla standpoint, but I just want to make sure that we're not disrupting something that we've built for the last 2 decades, or if not more. And then my concern would be too is in who picks what's going on in these buildings, and then who's when you start this process, and I'm not opposed to it, I just have questions. This is something that's important that we ask any questions, but who when you start this project, we know that the First Amendment is a very strong thing, and so what's to say that the First Amendment doesn't get in the way and start saying, well, if they want to put something up there for X, they can not be stopped because you're allowing us to put pretty fish up. So maybe we'll put pretty fish up, and then it's about history. So what is the history of Indian River County? You could talk about suffrage, right? Suffrage is a big time thing because Fellsmere was the first city to allow women to vote, which is a wonderful part of our history. So we love that. But that getting into the political realm of things. So I'm just a little bit concerned with the implementation of a project such as this and how it's going to look in the future. So I guess with that, I'll entertain any answers to that garbage I just spewed.
I would just say that, I respect your concerns. We have the same concerns as well. And, we want to preserve the community as well. So me as a 30-year business owner in this community, and I would just hope that, the council and the city would trust that the chamber would have the best interest at heart for the community, and that, only things will be approved that are within the categories that we've established. So that is, our goal. And we have a committee that will be approval. And, it will be in the best interest of whoever wants to paint on their walls to go through the program, because it will create marketing opportunities for themselves. Whether people don't go through that, we don't have control over that, but.
I got you.
But, we want it to be looked at as art and not so much a paint color that's within the code.
I fully understand that.
Yeah.
I fully understand. Anyway, Mr. Dodd.
In reading through the program, I really like it. We all know is my issue with signs that I brought up before. A lot of people think I don't like the First Amendment, and I think sometimes we have a real issue that's just time to say no when somebody wants to throw their First Amendment right around. And so I would assume that the way this program is laid out, that we just say no. If someone wants to put something that's inappropriate on a wall, we say no. And if the Supreme Court wants to overrule us, let them pay the lawyers to get there. The program has in it specifications on what the murals, as I read this program, specifications on the topics and the ambiance of the murals. And I think as long as it stays within that, and the city staff through growth management has an opportunity to make sure that it's not an advertising, because one of the things that was referenced, and I think it is referenced in our code, is that if someone wants to paint a mural on the side of their business and it advertises their business, that's part of our sign code. That's not a mural, that's a sign. And I think as long as we understand that we can go forward with it. I thoroughly understand the mayor's issue with people in their First Amendment rights, because people seem to be screaming a lot about those things today. But I think the program gives us ample opportunity to just say no and go from there if it has to go from there. I've seen these murals all over Florida, and I remember when it came to the council before, and I believe I was in New Smyrna Beach, and I saw some on the side of a building that I thought was extremely attractive, and I'm thinking that wall at the cemetery. Now, that was before they put the landscape up, and they fixed the wall at the cemetery, but I was thinking to myself, I'd love to see that on that wall at the cemetery, you know. And so I'm in favor of this, even though there is an opportunity for someone who wants to be temperamental to question whether we're breaking their First Amendment rights, but I would say let the courts decide. So.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
Obviously, I've spoken to some members of the committee and the chamber, and I'm very much in support of this program. I've read through it. I've talked to them about it. I think they have enough checks and balances along with the standards that have been set up that I think we'll avoid most issues. Is there a possibility for, you know, what you've talked about? Of course there is, no matter what we deal with. And the good news is it won't be approved. Now, the problem is, honestly, if someone wanted to paint something on their wall now, they could do it and then deal with code enforcement, and we couldn't stop it. So if they really wanted to throw their First Amendment rights, they wouldn't go to the mural program to do it. So as far as the mural program goes, I think we're in great hands with the team we have, and I look forward to seeing some future art in our community.
Great.
Yes, I agree. I think the murals are a powerful way to tell the story of our community, and I look forward to seeing that. During my years, my wife and I have traveled at different places with our kids, and we've seen murals on the walls, and we've taken pictures by them and all of that, and that's the same thing that'll happen here. People will come here, they'll want to come back and send their stories. It's just great. I think it's a great opportunity for us to go forward with this.
Okay. Anything else? I'd like to get.
Well, I spent the 70s in New York City tagging buildings all over. I look forward to this, but I mean, you know, as I'm reading this all has to basically go through whatever proposal through Lisa. I trust Lisa's judgment on this. This reminds me of, like, do we want to have, like we used to have the FSL committee, the facade, sign, and landscaping committee, and then we turn that just over to the community development department. So I think this is a great initiative. I think it'll go, I'm sure somebody will try and get something by, but, you know, Lisa's got her eyes on the project.
Very good.
Now, I could turn it over to the CRA if you want. You guys can have final decision. No?
We're going to go ahead and take some input from the public. Thank you. If you could just go ahead and take a seat, I'd appreciate it. Anyone from the public wish to speak on this? Yes, sir.
Evening, Council. Derek Gary, Tulip Drive. As a local business owner, I would really like to see this, and I think that it would do a lot for everything they pointed out. And you all made very good points. As a citizen, I support it. As a business owner, I look forward to taking the opportunity to apply and have something put on our building. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
How you doing? Kirk Fennell, Tourism Director in River County Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also born and raised here in Sebastian, Florida. As a local, I would love to see something like this. I mean, every other city in the state has this, and it'll really bring out what we have in this historic community.
All right, thank you very much. Council, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I move approval that the council approve the mural program as presented by the Sebastian Area Chamber of Commerce, and direct the city staff to draft and prepare and present back to us the appropriate changes to the land development code.
Second.
Mr. Carlisle.
Mr. Mayor, we're not anticipating changing the land development code. That's why we're utilizing these individuals to do the program, because it's separate from the sign code.
So these changes that are in our packet don't need to be made?
On page 140.
Are you talking about the color wheel?
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
I forgot about that part, sorry.
The definition of murals and the change.
I apologize, I forgot we were batting that back and forth.
And that needs to go through like the whole standard process.
That's correct.
So
I apologize.
It'll be months before we see that.
That was something that we were batting back and forth on how we're going to manage that.
Okay.
I apologize.
So that is correct?
That is correct.
And the second is correct. Any further discussion by council? Roll call, please.
Mr. Dodd?
Yes.
Mr. McPartlin?
Yes.
Mr. Nunn?
Yes.
Chairman Hill?
Yes.
And Vice Chairman Jones?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, congratulations, great job. All right, I will now adjourn the CRA and reconvene as the City Council. Council, there's no public hearings this evening. There's no unfinished business. We do have new business. Item 14A, approval to select Aaron's Companies, Inc. as the design build firm for 2 airport hangars. Mr. Carlo.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, we had put out a request for qualifications to design and build the 2 airport hangars at the site that we had just repaired the taxiway and put in the roadway and parking lot. We received 1 proposal from Aaron's Construction. I can tell you Mr. Aaron's has completed for the city, I think, every hangar that we have, A, B, C, and now is working on D. And he has put in a proposal to do the design build for these 2 hangars. And he is on Zoom if you have any questions for him, but staff recommends awarding this to Richard Aaron's Companies, and also to allow us to negotiate a final guaranteed maximum price to bring back to you in an agreement.
Okay, thank you. Is someone's phone on?
Yeah, she's going.
Oh, okay.
Just left the building.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of item 14A. Second that.
All right, I got a motion and a second. Does anyone from the public wish to speak on this item? All right, hearing none. Council discussion? Thank you, Mr. Carlisle. Roll call, please.
Great job.
Councilmember McPartlin?
Yes.
Councilmember Nunn?
Yes.
Mayor Hill?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jones?
Yes.
And Councilmember Dodd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Item 14B, review and consider the 2022 council date calendar. Council, I would recommend that we cancel the meeting for December 28th, also cancel the meeting for November 23rd. Do we need to move that meeting to the 16th? That's on the 9th? Madam Clerk?
Mr. Mayor, we won't have the certification from the election until November 18th.
18th?
Yeah. It's the county canvassing board. A judge, Leslie Swan, and a county commissioner.
So what if we put that meeting on the 2nd? That would help us,
How about the 21st?
the 21st, a Monday?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be the only one that month.
Right,
When's Thanksgiving, the 25th?
correct.
24th and
24th,
24th.
I mean, we've had them before on Thanksgiving Eve, but I don't know.
Well, no, I don't, I certainly think that the 23rd one is an issue. I have no problems doing it that Monday.
Does the canvassing board typically meet early during the day? It's not an evening meeting for the canvassing board, is it? Could we meet on the 18th?
On a Friday night?
Right, that's kind of crazy talk.
I'm an old retired guy. I don't know Friday to Monday, so.
If there's a
Let's make
problem.
it Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, let's go, 6 o'clock.
they
Let's do, I'm in favor of either doing it on the 2nd prior to the election, or we could do it on the 21st. I have no problems with either one of those times.
So we're talking about only having one meeting that month, which would be the 21st.
Well, the issue is that the election is
The
on the
election,
8th.
yeah.
The election on the 8th will not be certified until the 18th. It's a little bit awkward if, I don't know, 3 of you guys get beat on the 8th.
Well, the charter,
There's only 2 running. So it's a little strange if 2 of us get beat on the 8th, and then we have a meeting on the 9th or the 16th with the same.
Yeah, that's not good.
the charter just says that we have to, the officers have to be, the new council members have to be instilled on the first regular meeting after the election. So
Right.
it would have to be we'd have to establish the 21st as a regular meeting date since the 18th is the last time. We
Correct.
couldn't, yeah. And we wouldn't meet on the 9th because that's after the election, and that was the first regular meeting.
So that's why I'm saying you can do it in the meeting prior to the election,
Yeah.
which would be the 2nd, or the 21st. I'm good with either one of them.
Is the first election this year?
No, it's the 8th.
The 8th? Oh.
Yeah.
Madam Clerk, is there anything else going on here in the chambers on the 21st?
I would have to check that.
Okay.
We'll have to cancel their stuff.
We preempt them?
I don't think so.
I would say so.
So, look, I'm open to the 2nd or the 21st. Mr. McPartland prefers the 21st.
I mean, the 21st seems to make more sense to me.
21st is good.
Fine. Let's
21st is good.
That means we don't have a meeting
On this.
until the 21st
Correct.
of November.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine with me.
All right, Madam Clerk, you got that? Any other dates
No.
that could be in conflict?
Since we're only
Are we
got,
looking to get rid of the 28th of December here?
Yeah,
Yes,
28th.
yeah, I've already mentioned that.
Why don't we just do it on the 17th?
That one's gone.
now, since we're not having a meeting until the 21st of November, should we do something in October after the 12th? Or should we change that? I don't know what.
You have early voting.
We have early voting.
Oh, that's right.
That's the reason
That's
it's
why you
canceled.
don't have one
Yeah.
on that.
They haven't done away with that yet, have they?
No, sir.
There can always be an emergency meeting called by the mayor or
Okay.
any other council member if it's necessary.
So November.
Yeah,
So-
let's do that.
So 21st of November will be the only meeting we have.
In November.
The 14th of December will be the only meeting we have in December. Are there any other meetings that are conflicting?
Nope.
All right, very good.
Do we know when
21st.
Florida League of Cities is this year?
It's in
Florida League of
August.
Cities is going to be in, when is that? That's in September?
It's in August.
In August?
August this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there should be no effect to our council meeting.
It'll probably be the 11th, right?
I think it might be this year, the 17th
Okay.
through the 20th,
Okay.
21st.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So we're good then.
yeah.
All right.
All right, very good. Thank you. Mr. Anand, do you have anything to bring to us this evening?
I have nothing, sir.
All right, thank you. I'm glad to hear they've got that squeaky chair fixed up for you. So that's good.
It was driving my ears crazy.
Mr. Carlisle.
I have nothing to add this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
I want to give a shout out to Kathy Testa, who covered for me during my absence.
Shout out,
I really
Kathy.
appreciate everything she did. She covered the meetings. She did a great job.
She did a great job.
You were gone?
Is that all, ma'am? You were very, very missed.
Very missed.
All right.
I missed you.
All right, Council, under my matters, I have one thing, discussion of golf carts. Now, there was some confusion that I had with the golf carts, and I think that many people had because there was some things posted about potentially golf carts being illegal in the city of Sebastian, and then what is the definition of a golf cart? So I didn't know what it was, because I see those golf carts driving down Indian River Drive all the time, driving all over the place. But they're the souped up ones with the windows and the lights and the blinkers. And my understanding at the time was that those were illegal. So I wanted to have a discussion up here as to whether or not we wanted to potentially make those legal. But now I'm fully understanding that state law supersedes us in that, and that they are legal in the city of Sebastian. What is not legal in the city of Sebastian are just regular golf carts that don't meet the criteria and aren't registered. So I just wanted to open it up and see. There was some concern or some questions from the community. Some people may want to have regular golf carts legal on our streets. I certainly have some concerns about that, as the city of Sebastian was not constructed as a golf cart community, where the villages have been, and then there's some other areas. We could also do some things like say there are certain areas that golf carts And again, when I'm saying golf carts, I'm saying the non-street legal golf carts, we can designate certain areas of the community. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on anything. I'm not necessarily inclined to seeing anything change.
So as I understand it, like you said, the ones that meet the state guidelines and are tagged are legal already according to state law. Everything else is illegal by state law. And the only reason anything would be different than that is if we came up with an ordinance to approve something else to be allowed on our streets in some form.
Correct.
Okay. I personally think the ordinances or the state laws it sits covers us. I don't know if we necessarily want four-wheelers and other devices driven on the road, and if you want to do that, go make it legal, and whatever that golf cart is, if it can make it legal, then you can drive it on the road, as long as you meet all the state guidelines.
Right, and I'm not looking forward to, obviously, putting golf carts on the streets of our city. In my previous career, I've dealt with a lot of the accidents involving golf carts and the carnage and the loss of life. These vehicles that are authorized by the state, they're required to have all the lighting equipment on them. They're required to have seat belts. Regular golf carts are not required to have that. So you'll have children riding around the streets in the local neighborhoods on golf carts if we were to put an ordinance, make an ordinance to allow that. And then, someone's going to get seriously injured or possibly killed. So I think we stick with what we have, which is the state law, which provides for those particular vehicles that have been certified, have been registered according to the state law, so.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Mr. Mayor, if I could just... Let me get this straight. So a regular golf cart that doesn't have a license plate, doesn't have lights, it can't go driving around the city?
Correct.
No.
So do we got to make that an ordinance, or that's already the law?
It's already
the law.
Okay. Because again, it's the majority, there's one gentleman here, I know he was concerned about the matter we met, and it's 98% of the people ain't causing the problem. It's the 2% that are causing the problem for everybody. So we're not going to do anything. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
As I look at the scooters, I was down in Miami a few months ago. It's dangerous to drive down there anyways, and they have those scooters. And I know a gentleman on the MPO was all concerned about them moving up that business model up here, because you can, I don't know, somehow use your credit card, you take it, you just drop it wherever you want and move on. And I mean, it was just a nightmare in Miami, the way those scooters probably go about 20 miles an hour and scooting in and out of traffic. And I was like, if we start with the golf carts, those things are next. I remember several years ago when we didn't discuss like drones. And now you look at drones and how much more prevalent they are today. And, they're even talking about them, business model delivering stuff. And I'd rather stay out of stuff if I can.
They actually have those scooters in the city of Fort Pierce.
I know, I passed by, but they don't rent them as much as they do in Miami, where they have a mound of them sitting there.
We sound so old up here right now.
We are.
We are old. Just saying.
Our old fishing village, if you can't drive the boat down the street, you don't need a golf cart.
All right, that's all I had this
City
evening.
attorney has something, I think.
I just have one comment, Mr. Mayor, if I can.
Yes, go ahead.
As part of my due diligence, just let the board know, I did contact the county, spoke to the county attorney. They do not have any ordinance that permits golf carts, therefore they're prohibited, and they do not have any ordinance which restrict these low speed vehicles, therefore they're also permitted.
Yeah, but I know they've gone into VLE, and a guy cuts my lawn, he got a warning, and the next time he gets caught with his golf cart VLE, they're taking it.
Sweet. All right, that's all I had. Thank you very much for that. Vice Mayor Jones.
Nothing.
Mr. McParland. No, sir. All right, thank you. Councilmember Nunn.
I like to talk, so
Yes,
I've
you
got
do.
something. I think everybody's seen that we have the new transitional housing going in, which is just outside of the city limits. It wasn't that your city council or that your city didn't care to inform you or tell you what was going on. We had nothing to do with it. We found out about it when you did, which was when the property was sold. Now, as I say that, we all should try to be a little more caring for our neighbors, understanding there are people that are trying to get off the street and trying to make something of themselves. And that's what the hope of this village is to give those people an opportunity to get off the street. We know that all homeless aren't drug addicts and drunks, just like everybody standing in a bar isn't a drunk. Sometimes you're there just for the entertainment or the other reasons. So let's try to be a little less judgmental in our community and help support everybody. I mean, listen, we could all be homeless in a moment.
No doubt, no doubt. And I'll just, if you don't mind, I'll just say that for everyone who says that the city of Sebastian should not be annexing any property, this is clearly a point where had we annexed it, at least we would have had some say in what's going on that property. Yep. Much like all of the properties surrounding the city of Sebastian. If we annex those properties, then we'll have say. Not only will we have say, we'll be able to generate tax revenues from those properties. So thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Nunn.
Okay,
Mr. Dunn.
Before I say what I was thinking about saying, in that same vein, if the source would like to build the facility that they have in their rendering on that, which is an extremely attractive multi-use, affordable housing subdivision, I would love for them to come to Sebastian and talk to us, because that's what we need here is affordable housing that is that stepping stone up for people to move up. It's a shame when we find that people who wait on us in restaurants can't afford to live here and have to drive 40 miles to get here to go to work. I want to thank the people who showed up for the 2 workshops. I think it was extremely important that we did that. And I want to make sure that everybody understands that we really do appreciate our employees. So we're going to do what we can to help those people. One last thing, just for the people who don't know, the current Vice Mayor of Fort Pierce, Mrs. Carbano, if I'm saying her last name correctly, is going to be the president of the Florida League of Cities next year. Yep. And so that's kind of an important thing. And people in the audience who are interested in becoming active, the Florida League of Cities has on their website some extremely good information about legislation that's being proposed right now at the state level. I'll give you an example. The state is, and it's passed one committee already, proposing that an ad valorem tax increase by a municipality has to be approved in a referendum in a general election. That sounds really nice to people who want to control taxes, but it means we can't do a budget, and except like once every 3 years, because we can only get, we can't balance a budget until we have the next general election, and then we have to go through a referendum to get the money to balance the budget. That's going to have the opposite effect. It's going to force municipal governments as quickly as they can to increase ad valorem taxes at a higher rate than they would like to, in anticipation that they won't get approval in the next general election for that referendum. So that's actually going to have the opposite effect. So for people who are interested in looking at some of this legislation, in the Florida League of Cities website, they have a link called Advocacy, and they have a lot of these bills in there and information. And it's important. The more citizens that contact your legislators and let them know that these bills are not something you'd like to see happen, it's important to do that. So I'd like to recommend that people do that if they're really interested in. Contact Vice Mayor Jones. He's going to go to a conference in February with the city manager, where they're going to go up there and lobby some people. Contact them if you see some things that you'd like them to look at, and maybe have an opportunity for them to try to lobby some of our legislators on those issues. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I'd contact him on anything you see out there. He'll be right on top of it. So appreciate everything this evening. There being no further business, we are adjourned.